Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive.
Yeah.
We love to dig into these little nuggets of information, and
Today's a fascinating one.
yeah, it really is. We've got a snippet of text, and
Possibly leaked, could be intercepted, we don't know.
right, exactly. We're not entirely sure of its origin.
But it hints at some pretty serious behind-the-scenes maneuvering in the Middle East.
Exactly, and that's what we love to do around here. We love
Yeah.
to kind of play geopolitical detective.
Right. We've only got a few pieces of the puzzle, but we're going to see what we can make of it.
Exactly, and hopefully get some insight into the volatile dynamics of the region.
Always volatile.
Okay, well, let's just jump right in then. This text we have, it mentions Syrian rebels initially being slated to transfer to Iraq.
Okay.
And the goal, it seems, was to have them fight against the Popular Mobilization Forces.
The PMF. Now, to understand this, you got to know a little bit about the PMF.
Right, give it some context.
These guys are a powerful force in Iraq. They're primarily Shia militias. And they rose to prominence fighting ISIS. Everybody remembers that.
Right.
But they've also been accused of some pretty serious human rights abuses.
Oh, why?
And there's this concern that they're basically an arm of Iran.
Oh, I see.
So, Iranian influence in the region.
Wow. So sending Syrian rebels into that mix seems like a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, potentially explosive consequences for sure.
It really makes you wonder who is calling the shots here,
Right.
Who's deciding to move these troops around like this? What are they hoping to achieve?
Big questions, yeah.
Yeah. And then things get even more interesting. The text mentions that U.S. Secretary of State Blinken actually intervened.
Oh, really?
Yeah, advocated for a more peaceful approach.
Interesting.
I thought that was kind of surprising.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a strategic move when you think about it. The U.S. still has troops in both Syria and Iraq.
Right.
Any escalation there puts those troops at risk.
Yeah, makes sense.
Not to mention, American lives, potentially.
Exactly.
And then, of course, you've got the Iranian angle. A destabilized Iraq is exactly what Iran wants.
Right.
And that's the last thing the U.S. wants to see.
Right. So Blinken pushing for peace, that's probably a way to kind of protect U.S. interest and limit that Iranian influence.
Exactly.
Okay, so Blinken calls for peace, and then this is the part I really didn't see coming.
Okay.
Abu Muhammad al-Julani, leader of Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, HTS, agrees to disarm militias in Syria.
Wow.
And supposedly there's a similar expectation for Iraq as well.
Now, that's a name that raises some eyebrows.
Yeah, remind us who he is again?
This is the head of a group that used to be aligned with al-Qaeda.
Oh, wow.
Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. They've been trying to rebrand themselves, as more moderate.
Right.
But there's definitely some skepticism there,
Yeah, I can imagine.
For al-Julani to suddenly agree to disarmament, that raises some serious questions.
Yeah, is this genuine, or is he playing some kind of a long game here?
Right. What's his end game?
It just seems a little too convenient,
Yeah.
especially considering the timing of everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's suspicious.
Okay, but then just when we think we're starting to understand what's going on, the whole situation shifts again.
Okay.
The text mentions these Syrian fighters being diverted to Libya.
Oh, wow. To Libya.
Yeah, why this sudden change in destination?
Well, the Libyan conflict, that adds a whole other layer of complexity.
Right. Libya's been in turmoil for years now, right?
It's a mess. You've got different factions fighting for power.
Yeah.
You've got outside players like Turkey, Russia, the UAE,
Right.
all backing different sides.
Wow.
Throwing these Syrian fighters into that mix, it's like pouring gasoline on a fire.
Yeah, it's a reminder of how interconnected all these conflicts really are.
Absolutely.
But let's go back to those fighters for a second.
Okay.
Because the last line of this text is really chilling.
What does it say?
It refers to these fighters as excess baggage
Excess baggage.
and says they're going to be eliminated in a fuel-burning battle.
That's disturbing.
It's really dehumanizing language.
Yeah. They're being treated like pawns in some bigger game.
Exactly, and it makes you wonder, what are the real goals here?
Right.
Who's benefiting from escalating the conflict in Libya?
Yeah, who are the winners in this scenario?
And most importantly, what about the human cost?
Right. These are real people with lives and families.
Yeah, they're being moved around like chess pieces, put in harm's way.
But nobody seems to care about their well-being.
Exactly, and that last line, about excess baggage, that really drives that point home.
It's chilling, yeah.
So if these fighters are seen as expendable, what does that tell us about the people pulling the strings?
Right. What are their true motives?
What are their real objectives in this conflict?
It's a troubling thought.
It really is. We started with just this small snippet of text,
Right.
and it opened up this whole world of intrigue and complexity.
Yeah, it's amazing how much is happening beneath the surface.
Absolutely. And it shows that, even a tiny scrap of information can give us a glimpse into the bigger picture.
Yeah, and a lot of questions to ponder,
Definitely leaves us with more questions than answers.
as always.
All right, well, that's another deep dive in the books. Thanks for joining us.
And keep those thinking caps on.